Welcome everybody. Blueprint number 4. We're gonna dive deep into that dark place in construction and development called contracts. We dive into these contracts. We understand each contract's terminology, what it stands for. We then work through them. We then sign those contracts, right? And after we sign those contracts, it's now between mano y mano to actually execute that agreement. So these are the major ones in NYC construction and development. They obviously are also going to be big across the country, but I don't know about the rest of the world, and I don't know about some niche businesses, but these are the ones we used in New York. Now this one I wanted to just get out of the way. It is called a unit price agreement. And by the way, in multifamily construction and development, in commercial construction, we don't really use this. This is for roadways. You build a roadway, charge per mile, right? I mean, that's the easiest example of it. You know what is the materials involved. You know what the costs are involved. I got 100 miles, charge me per mile. Boom. Boom. Number 2, T&M contract. Now, the way I like to look at these contracts sometimes is, what risk are you as an owner willing to take when you're building, and what risk the contractor is willing to take? If you take greater risk, there should be greater profitability. If you take less risk, it's guaranteed money, right? So one of the things we always say is T&M contracts, time and materials. This is for sort of your smaller projects, right? I got this wall I want you to move. I want you to demo this kitchen and put in a new one, right? The thing is, you don't really know the exact, unless you're staring at it every day, that the contractor, the amount of labor is going to achieve it in a certain amount of time, right? So it works really well when the scope isn't perfect, right? Now, something that I like to talk about is transparency, right? With T&M, you actually can see how many people are there, what those materials actually are being used, so it's transparent. The other thing is, a lot of people like to talk about the GC isn't at risk. He walks into that project, right? And it's time and materials. Whether he moves fast, whether he moves slow, he's getting paid a certain value no matter what for his time on that job, right? That's something that's super important, right? Because you want people to be motivated and proactive to achieve that goal. In this type of agreement, it can go on, and he's always being paid. Now, I wouldn't suggest anything like this on any type of larger projects, over a couple $100,000 maybe, or maybe over $20,000, because these can get out of hand quick without knowing exactly what the scope is going to be. It just goes on and on and on. Next, lump sum agreement. Now, I gotta tell you, a lot of people talk about this lump sum agreement. I'm not that much of a fan. There's zero transparency, okay? Give the contractor a set of documents, he's looking at it, boom, couple $1,000,000, let's say. If he achieves that job, and it costs, I was saying, couple $1,000,000, $2 million, for $1 million, he's pocketing $1 million. You don't know how much any of the trades cost, you don't know what his markup is, so it's a fixed total price. Savings is all right to the contractor, nothing to do with you. You're willing to pay that money because you accept that that job, whatever it is worth that dollar value, but you have no transparency about it. You're learning zip, nothing. You don't know what the cost of plumbing is. You don't know electrical, carpentry, roofing. You know nothing. You just know that you paid a single dollar and the job got complete. That doesn't mean that there can't be changes. That doesn't mean that the owner isn't at risk, but I see these all the time. Contractors love them. I don't see so many owners that love them. This agreement is the basis of how I see most complex projects going. It's called a cost plus agreement. The owner pays the contractor for the costs plus a agreed upon profit margin, okay? This is also used in big projects. But when we say cost plus, what's so unique about it, okay? We spoke about lump sum, single number. Cost plus is transparent. You get to see every line item in the contract, from the plumber to the carpenter to the electrician to the amount of unit to the cost of the kitchen to the cost of the roof, all the way down to the cost of the container if you wanted to know, down to the cost of a laborer. So now you're learning about the process and the cost throughout. You can push certain things, you understand where the general contractor is moving, and you can actually have an impact on the way in which that job moves. The next agreement, I like to call the banker special. It's a cost plus contract with a GMP, aka guaranteed maximum profit. No, I'm just playing. It's not. Guaranteed maximum maximum price. We got transparency. We know exactly what it's supposed to cost. We're breaking out what the time is and what the contractor is responsible for. But many has slipped from cup to lip. What this does is makes an attempt to give a cap on what the price could be on a contract. So the general contractor in this type of agreement is at risk. They're stating to you, based on your drawings, this thing will cost X dollars. And on top of that will be a slight margin, because if I was wrong on any of my pricing, on any of my materials, it takes longer than our expectation. That risk is on me. So that definition, a lot of the banks, a lot of the people that are investing in these projects, they love this agreement because they feel as if they are protected. But if that general contractor is off and has to pay so much that it bankrupts them, doesn't do you any good either, right? We're trying to get them to finish the project. So it can cause super long negotiations, by the way, because the general contractor is at risk. If the GC does work their tushies off, gets it done on time, there may be a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And you're still human. Mistakes still happen. Those mistakes can be so costly that a general contractor can't even finish the job. So you have to think about that. And my favorite, there'll still be change orders, okay? And everyone always thinks, oh, change order means money, but that's not its exact definition. Sometimes it could be de-scoping, where the general contractor is actually giving you money back, but it's a change to the agreement, okay? The drawings are not perfect and in a vacuum, right? Could be a change order because the drawing showed something that they priced, but isn't feasible in the field. So I don't want you to think that it's a complete guarantee. It's starting to play like zone defense, starting to mitigate your risk. I don't care what contract it is or what it is, I want to be clear about something. Litigation is a loss. There will be conflict. This is human nature. I don't care what agreement and how many pages it is, there will be conflict. Everybody's tough, everybody's right. They go, well, we're gonna litigate. Litigation is a loss. Why? Time, money. You're waiting years in New York City or in New York City to come to an answer. But what isn't actually happening when you're doing that? But the building isn't getting built. So I don't care what agreement and how many pages and how it lays everything out. At the end of the day, it's still a human business. You still got to be able to have rapport and solve those conflicts amicably, because litigation is a loss for everybody. And remember, negotiation means I may lose or I may win, but at least we're moving forward.